Over the past week, possibly the largest record label in the world, Universal Music Group, pulled their entire music catalog from TikTok, resulting in millions of videos being muted, and some TikTokers wondering if they're gonna have to start flipping patties or not. Artists such as Drake, Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, and Kanye West have been affected by this due to their contracts with the label. But a good question to ask is, why did this happen? Well, basically, they couldn't reach a new deal with TikTok. In Universal's open letter titled An Open Letter to the Artist and Songwriter Community, Why We Must Call Time Out on TikTok, they laid out 3 reasons for why this deal couldn't be closed. The first reason was they wanted appropriate compensation for their artists and songwriters. They said that TikTok proposed paying their artists and songwriters at a rate that is a fraction of the rate that similarly situated major social platforms pay, and that TikTok accounts for only about 1% of their total yearly revenue. They then said, ultimately, TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying fair value for the music. Their second reason was they want to protect their artists from the harmful effects of AI. They stated that TikTok is allowing the platform to be flooded with AI-generated recordings and that they were developing tools to enable, promote, and encourage AI music creation. The big thing here is that they were basically sponsoring the replacement of artists by AI through a demanded contractual right that would allow this content to greatly dilute the royalty pool for human artists. Here, I 100% understand Universal because there is a lot of stuff going on with AI. They were also worried about the pornographic deepfakes of their artists, such as Taylor Swift, and how difficult of a process it can be to remove this content since you manually have to report everything. And they called it the digital equivalent of whack-a-mole, which I found funny. When they proposed that TikTok should take similar steps that other platforms do, they basically didn't care and even tried to intimidate them in their words. Their third reason was they were worried about the online safety for TikTok's users, which this part I was a little confused about, but their reasoning was that TikTok does little to combat the tidal wave of hate speech, bigotry, bullying, and harassment on its platform, which, I mean, I understand, but there's always going to be hate speech everywhere, unfortunately. That's just the way the internet is, so I don't know if TikTok can really do a lot there. Near the end of this open letter, they stated that TikTok attempted to bully them into accepting a deal that was worth less than their previous deal. The way they went about this intimidation was by selectively removing or threatening to selectively remove the music of certain developer artists under Universal Music Group, but keeping the big ones on, of course. Their closing statements were, TikTok's tactics are obvious. Use its platform power to hurt vulnerable artists and try to intimidate us into conceding to a bad deal that undervalues music and shortchanges artists and songwriters as well as their fans. We will never do that. We will always fight for our artists and songwriters and stand up for the creative and commercial value of music. We recognize the challenges that TikTok's actions will cause and do not underestimate what this will mean to our artists and their fans, who unfortunately will be among those subjected to the near-term consequences of TikTok's unwillingness to strike anything close to a market rate deal and meaningfully address its obligations as a social platform. But we have an overriding responsibility to our artists to fight for a new agreement under which they are appropriately compensated for their work on a platform that respects human creativity in an environment that is safe for all and effectively moderated. We honor our responsibilities with the utmost seriousness. Intimidation and threats will never cause us to shirk these responsibilities. Obviously, TikTok would have to respond to Universal with their own letter by saying, it is sad and disappointing that Universal Music Group has put their own greed above the interests of their artists and songwriters. Despite Universal's false narrative and rhetoric, the fact is that they have chosen to walk away from the powerful support of a platform with well over 1 billion users that serves as a free promotional and discovery vehicle for their talent. TikTok has been able to reach artist-first agreements with every other label and publisher. Clearly, Universal's self-serving actions are not in the best interests of artists, songwriters, and fans. Basically, TikTok said that Universal is lying, and now it's becoming a he say, she say type of thing. Yet this dispute will affect both companies. For Universal Music Group, their artists will lose the publicity and potential growth that comes from TikTok due to its massive user base, as TikTok mentioned in their open letter, at least in the short term. If their artists push to have their music stay on the platform, it may force Universal's hand to cave in or just get a new deal done. However, it could give Universal a better reputation as a company that's willing to protect its artists from being exploited. For TikTok, losing this large library of music could affect them more than Universal Music Group, since a lot of their users have made millions of videos using songs from all the popular artists under the label. This could lead to a loss in revenue due to the potential loss of users. Yet, through all this chaos, there could be some positives. For indie artists or those under other labels, they could use this dispute as an opportunity to grow. Since this move gets rid of a lot of competition for smaller artists or those under different labels, it gives them a much better opportunity to grow using the platform. Indie artists could finally have their golden ticket to come up. Now more than ever, smaller artists should use this situation to push for virality. Now, in terms of my opinion, honestly, I feel like both companies are being greedy and hypocritical here. While Universal made some valid points about the need for protection of their artists, the money they would make from TikTok would mostly go to their pockets anyways due to royalties from the contracts they hold from their artists. Also, Universal wasn't worried about the care and protection of their artists when they were out there giving out predatory deals left and right, like when Oprah was out there giving out those cars. And another thing is, TikTok allegedly trying to make more money by intimidating Universal Music Group into a worse deal is also a predatory and pretty boneheaded move in terms of keeping those artists on the platform. Hopefully, both sides will be able to reach an agreement soon that will actually have the best interest of musicians at heart. But if you'd like to know about an up-and-coming band whose music you can use on TikTok, go check out my video on how the Linda Lindas could dominate rock that's on screen now.